So I've got some big news, but before I spill the beans, I just want to talk about the last couple of weeks, which have been pretty epic. So just going back 2 weeks from the time this video actually comes out, we had my club's presentation evening. So every year it's an opportunity to come together, celebrate people's achievements of 2023, just have a good time, quite frankly. So I've been part of the club now for 7 years, and this time was the first time ever I won 2 awards. So I definitely never got into running to win awards. I'm sure many people are the same, but yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise, to be honest. So one of the awards was for our club championships. So if you get 3 times over a certain distance, you're with a chance of winning. So I got 2nd place for the Open Championships for the shorter distances, which is 1500 meters, 5k, 5 mile and 10k. Now that was, I say, open, which effectively means it's the fastest times in the club combined. I'm by no means the fastest at the club, but if you haven't done 3 distances, then you're not going to win. So that was pleasant. That was a pleasant surprise. And what was more of a surprise was that I won most improved male at the club for 2023. And I guess looking back now and reflecting on it more, I can see how much I did improve over the course of 2023. But because the previous year was such a big stepping stone for me, like I took over 20 minutes off my marathon time, for example, I just didn't think I'd be in the running this year. So yeah, that was great. Had a few beers, which is unusual for me, to be honest, these days. Then a bit of a dance, which given the opportunity is not so unusual. And yeah, it was a good night. So fast forward 2 days, then it was the SX20. If you haven't seen that video and want to watch it, I'll put a link above. So now spoilers, but yeah, it went really well. 20 miles, all at sub-3 hour marathon pace, and got in a lovely group with Matt and Callum. I didn't really talk too much after the race, kind of reflections. I think it was because I was really cold, and I just wasn't kind of in the mindset to have a proper reflection. But yeah, it just went so well, and actually looking back at that video did remind me how comfortable I felt throughout. Like, I was recording quite a lot, I was chatting basically the whole way around, so that has just given me such a confidence boost. And then fast forward into last week, I did 8 miles at marathon pace on a Thursday, which is something I haven't done in recent times. Did that with Mike, plus a warm up and a cool down to make it round to 10 miles. And then on the Saturday, I did the ASD Boundary Run, which is a trail race. It's meant to be about 17.7 miles. I ended up doing about 18 and a bit, because a few of us got lost along the way in the woods. But I guess the biggest drama from that day was I went for a warm-up. I was actually doing a piece of camera for this video. Why that hasn't appeared, I'll tell you in a short while. And Georgia went, my partner, went to the toilet, and we agreed to meet back at the car. Fortunately, she was a bit delayed because of the queuing. Well, then I decided I better go across the road and see if I can find her. The biggest thing was in my car were my trail shoes and my pack, which I'm wearing now, with my hydration and my food. and we basically just kept missing each other, and so I ended up running it in my road shoes, which had about 900 miles in, without a pack. So not ideal, but there were enough water stations along the way, some jelly babies for fuel. Probably my biggest mistake though was giving, I did catch up with Georgie after about 5k, and we ran together for about 4 miles, and then when I decided to push on a bit, I gave her my gloves to put in her pack, and later on in the race you climb Ivanhoe Beacon, which is about 230 meters, 670 feet I believe, and it's really quite exposed, and so that was really cold up there with all sorts of weather, wind, rain, sunshine, hail as well, and yeah, it made for an eventful race. So in combined with the warm-up, I did over 19 miles in the end, so quite the workout. So I did actually film quite a lot of the Attribution run. Unfortunately, I got an SD card error just after I finished, which meant I lost all my footage. So the plan wasn't to race Astridge, but actually just use it as a bit of a workout with the hills, and also mainly for time on feet. My official time was 2 hours 55 dead. I think I did slightly less on my watch because I was panicking at the start trying to find Georgie and didn't start my watch until I got going from the back. But yeah, a good solid workout for sure. And so that meant 51 miles for the week, which is my biggest mileage week for some time, and you can probably see where this is heading. Short delay at this point. But that's okay. So as I ran this very stretch a few weeks ago, I was telling you that I wasn't going to book a spring marathon. Well, I've booked Boston Marathon. No, not that one. Boston Marathon UK in Lincolnshire for the 28th of April. So when I started to consider it, it was 6 weeks away. Now at the time of recording, it's 4. So, or coming up to 4 weeks. So I've decided, just based on how well SX20 went, that it's just worth giving a go. So in terms of Boston, why Boston? It's flat. It's billed as the flattest UK marathon. And probably the main reason is Mike, who I ran Cambridge Half with this year and last year. He's doing it. He's been training for a SUB-3 for some time, so it's an opportunity to run with him and see what I'm capable of. Quite honestly, it's quite a small race, so there's, I think it's 900 spaces. It's not quite full, but it's not too far off. So yeah, if you fancy joining me, then book yourself in quick. And yeah, it's quite an exposed route in the sense of it's quite a lot of countryside near the sea. So you're a little bit subject to the elements, so there could be a lot of wind. And the other thing to factor, of course, is it's end of April. You just don't know what the weather situation is going to be, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, I do struggle in the heat, so if it's a hot day it ain't going to happen basically. But I felt that's not a reason not to go for it given the shape I'm in, and if it's the opportunity to run fast, then I'm going to give it a shot. We're skipping forward to the end of my easy run now, but I meant to say around Boston, I gave it some serious thought. Actually posted in the SUB-3 hour marathon Facebook group, which is an amazing resource for advice. So thanks to everyone who commented. The feelings were mixed in terms of whether I might be able to actually get a SUB-3, but the consensus was very much go for it and see. So that's what I plan to do. Aberdeen is still very much the goal for autumn in October. I'm just going to take the opportunity while it presents itself. The flip side of what I've said before about being in no rush, which I'm not, is also you don't know what happens in the future. I'm fit and ready now, so let's give it a go and then get into some proper marathon training ahead of Abingdon in October. So yeah, I'll say a bit more about it in the coming weeks. It does mean I'm not going to be doing my Endurance Life Trail Marathon at the start of May. Just not sensible to do two massive efforts within 2 weeks for me. So I'm probably going to drop down and you can do half marathon distance or 10k distance in that same race. So that's the plan. And in terms of the next few weeks, I'm on another bigger mileage week this week, and I've got 22-mile run planned at the weekend or thereabouts. But before that, today, at the time of this video coming out, I will have either be doing or have done the St Albans Easter 10k. So I am still going to race that one and use it as my workout for this week. So yeah, if you fancy seeing how I get on in that, want to follow me on my journey as I train for a sub 3 hour marathon this April, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. Do like the video if you've enjoyed this one. Follow me on Strava and Instagram, NRG Runs, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Oh, and just to say, this is my third attempt at recording this video. Obviously Ashford went wrong with the SD card. Then it was a windy day, so I got out an external microphone to do it and actually made the audio worse. So I'm out on a morning easy run to make this happen. So hallelujah, we got there.